has taken over.
Let's go.
It's Ferrall.
Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money.
It's Ferrall, coast to coast.
It's Ferrall on the bench, coast to coast in the biggest way possible, hanging out the bad seed, a broken eight, a bad apple with a bad attitude, hanging around a bunch of bad, at a bad tape, bad lie, bad dude, bad breath, bad attention, bad vibes. We are live in the Magic City studios in the Ferrall Palatial, right across the river and through the woods from where Granny loves to smoke that green crack sativa, because she lives in New York City, the Big Apple. Ooh. People dressed in plastic bags, directing traffic, some kind of fashion, shake it up, do that. All my friends come around, flat to party up. Rats on the west side, bedbugs uptown with a mess, tatter. My brain splattered all over Manhattan, shadooby shake it. It's only rock and roll, but I like it. Yes, I do, but I like it. Hey, what's gigging? I'm Ferrall, along with your boy Carver High this afternoon. Mafia running it with Aaron O. Hayden Fry, the ball carrier in Kansas City. Mo at LTN on a terrible Tuesday. The birthday roll call, shall we? Antoine Winfield Jr., 24 today. Tyler Stevenson, 26. Trey Flowers, 29. Ryan Kerrigan, 34. Martin Maldonado, 36. Yu Darvish, 36. Nick Collins, 39. Kevin Williams, former Viking, 42. Ryan Hannigan, 42. Neil Rackers, 46. Ryan Longwell, 48. Roger Cedeno, 48. Bonnie Bernstein, 52. What up, Bonnie? Happy birthday, kid. Quentin McCrankin, 52. Ben Coates, 53. Edzo, 56 today. Eddie Olczyk. What up, Eddie? He's probably out at Arlington Park right now. Rick Reed, 58. Tom Thayer, former Bear, 61. Christian Okoye, 61. Ron Hornsby. Wasn't that a singer? Hornsby, remember that guy? Homeless man. Anyway, sorry. Mike Jorgensen, 74. Buck Rogers, 84. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. The Yankees lose again. That's 10 of 12. The Rays shut about 4-0 last night. Yandy Diaz with a 2-run single. Aaron Boone is sick and tired of it. Aaron Hicks is embarrassed. You should be for that spinorama out in center field last night, you hack. Orioles beat the Jays 7-3. Mountcastle does it again. Mariners over the Angels 6-2. How about that disaster by the Angels in the infield in the ninth inning that cost them the game? Braves beat the Mets 13-1. I told you Strider would get it done or they'd beat him with a wet noodle. Carlos Carrasco left the game in like the second inning with left side discomfort. I have left side discomfort right now. And then how about your boy, is it Soroka? It's been so long since we've seen him pitch in the majors. Soroka is back, a minor league rehab assignment after being out for 2 years. We got your lion's share coming up with BetMGM. Get ready for that. And how about Warren Sharp, the new lead NFL analyst for SportsGrid? This guy is Analytics City. He's got it all going. They brought him into the network today. We'll have him on the show this very hour. Very exciting. Fernando Tatis Sr., he's embarrassing in himself, let alone talking about his kid. That he's blaming Major League Baseball and the Padres for his kid failing a steroid test. You're a tool, old man. Go drink some tequila. Do something. Shut your mouth. You're embarrassing. You talk about it, idiot. I don't care what anybody says. I'm done being nice. Phillies beat the Reds 4-3. Sosa with an RBI double. Bryce Harper's been taking BP. White Sox beat the Stros 4-2. Can you believe it? Moncada with a go-ahead hit in the eighth inning. Gary Sanchez with an RBI single, and the Twins win over the Royals. By the way, I hit all those games last night on FerrallOnTheBench.com. All I do is make people money. I mean, it really is incredible. We welcome our radio affiliates, SiriusXM Channel 159, Sports Map Radio, Sports Byline. Of course, Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio in San Diego. Near Tijuana, do you wanna? Rangers beat the A's 2-1. Marcus Semien with a home run. Dodgers beat the Brewers 4-0. Freddie Freeman going yard. The Dodgers, the first team to reach 80 wins. Bueller. 80, he's out the rest of the way with the elbow surgery. Forget about it. You win 80 games, you do it without Bueller. He's gone. They don't even need him. Evan Longoria with a home run for the Giants. I thought he retired like 8 years ago. We're talking about managers that are on the hot seat. I mean, on a fire seat. MLB Power Rankings plus tonight's games will make you some more money. Dubsy Anderson getting involved with us today. Talking golf, soccer, FedEx playoffs, you name it, World Cup, Premier League, coaches fighting. Today in Carver High, history will be juicy today. Plus, we got Kevin Stefanski, Brian Dable, Dan Campbell on the show, Bill Belichick on the show. He loves Matt Rule. I think Matt Rule sucks. He's a college coach. Calm down, little fella. AFC East season prop boat. Carver High has the prop boat cruising the lagoon again. It's unbelievable. Kyle Shanahan on the show today talking about Trey Lance, John Harbaugh talking, using big words apparently. It's big word day on C2C. And we got Steeler injuries. Guys lost for the season. Odds to win the national title in college football. Ohio State loses a freshman, Evan Pryor. He's done for the year. He's going to be a star at Ohio State in the future. Lane Kiffin on the show today. That's going to be exciting. Kevin Durant denies rumors he'd retire if he's not traded. Iggy says he should just shut up, stay in Brooklyn, and play ball. Ben Simmons and the Sixers reach an agreement over the money. He said they owed him all that money, wants $20 million, something like that. We got all your holiday schedules in the NBA. How about a little Usyk Joshua Saturday? They're fighting in Saudi Arabia. They'll take the Saudis' cash too, plus Adam Kaplan today, our NFL insider from Pat's camp. Get a cold one. It's time for Coast to Coast.
Sports Grid, your 24/7 sports wagering network.
They play less games.
The early line.
Take a look at the top four seeds here in the Big Ten. They're going to play less.
Rodgers and
the morning
Russell
after.
Wilson. We saw movement in the marketplace like Orlando.
Fantasy
Magic.
sports
the
today.
Cleveland Cavaliers are a little thin as well.
Newswire.
Minus 160 favorite on the money line today for Arizona.
Ferrall coast to
CBG,
coast.
that's where they win cups. They win Stanley Cups over there. Give me the
Game
Penguins.
time
Kind of
decisions.
bizarre when you consider everybody is out for the Warriors.
In-game live all
like
access.
I like Vandy against Bama. I think Vandy can win the game, take it 4.5.
In-game live. Prime time.
The PGA champion.
In-game live. Overtime.
done before the final bet.
Get the winning edge. Only on Sports Grid. Diamond bets.
Dodgers heading into the weekend, minus 160. This morning, when you wake up bright and early and you get the crust out of your eye, it's plus 155. The Mets were plus 220 after Jacob deGrom's 1-0 win yesterday, plus 200. So the Mets are getting ever closer here, my friend, to this National League number. It's a three-team race for the National League crown. It's the Dodgers, it's the Mets, it's the Braves. What's fascinating to me is that the Brewers are still plus 1,400 and the Cardinals are plus 15.
Only on Sports Grid. Ferrall coast to coast.
They're not going to start him. So if he comes in, hypothetically, let's say things don't go well and you're at the halfway point, week 8, week 9, you start playing him. I don't believe you can win Rookie of the Year starting halfway through. That kid, Pickens, if they throw him the ball enough, he has looked phenomenally well over any kid I've seen yet.
The Sports Grid Network.
Sports Professor Rick Horrow inside the $1.3 trillion business of sports with your daily numbers game. Well, California went from one of those states that no way are we going to have gambling of any kind, no casino sponsorships, no revenue of at all except for Indian gaming, which is grandfathered in. Now, Prop 26 on the ballot in November allows for gaming on Indian reservations and 4 other designated casinos. Prop 27, which is also on the ballot in November, funded by FanDuel, DraftKings, and all of the big boys, dollars for homeless, for infrastructure and otherwise, but also allows betting in the normal way across the state. Both may be passing. Some say it'll dilute the support if you have to choose. But at the end of the day, it is looking like California, here we come, for gaming, a tremendous expenditure by the big boys, and also the teams, including Major League Baseball, stepping out supporting Prop 27.
You smelling all this, Gary?
Love that smell, KG.
See, this is what retirement's all about. Slowing down, smelling stuff, like these. This smells like, oh. Covering the spread, baby! Yeah! That's what I'm talking about! What are you looking at, Gary? Stop looking at my flowers, Gary. Avert your eyes.
You know, some people eat a lot. I go on BetMGM a lot. You know what I mean? Like, who needs to eat when you can go on BetMGM and bet $10 on a baseball game and get $200 if either team hits a home run? That takes about 5 minutes. Use the bonus code MLBHR2022. I am surprised, Carver High, that they have yet to approve our villa at the MGM for permanent residency with the Ferrall Coast to Coast and Carver High and I moving to Las Vegas. We are still waiting for that flip, and it is yet to happen. I'm very upset about it.
Like you, I am waiting for the call, eagerly waiting the call, and I will take it when it actually comes. That's for sure.
Thank you.
Yes, so get on the BetMGM app. Tonight, plenty of homers to be had. A lot of stiffs on the mound tonight around baseball, Scotty, as we will talk about later on. So there's plenty of opportunities to cash in with a homer in those games. Let's get to a few things from last night. We'll start with the Yankees, Scotty. They lost again. They didn't score a run again. 4-0, they lose to the Rays. Here's a Yandy Diaz 2-run single in the ninth. Now, they were never tying that game when it was 1-0. Rays had a couple tack-on runs. I thought you just wanted to hear how the Bronx sounded, Scotty, after the Rays made it 4-0 on Bally Sports Florida.
Here we go.
You just love to see another breaking ball hang over the middle of this plate. Yandy deposit one in the gap.
Ground ball, base hit into right. That's going to get Walls home. Siri's going to come to the plate. He is safe. Over to third, Mejia. Big base hit by Yandy Diaz, and the Rays make it a 4-run ball game.
So Dwayne Stats with the call.
Yes.
And listen, the best part of that game last night, they've lost 10 of 12, by the way. They stink like Fresh Kills landfill. I actually thought the best part of the game, it was clearly watching Rizzo melt down in the dugout. And then, even more so, after Boone said, we can't afford to lose you. You need to shut your mouth and calm down. Watching an Italian guy try to calm down, there is nothing worse you can say to an Italian than calm down. I mean, there's some people that think that's pretty dangerous to do to me. But honestly, all the Italians, my wife's Italian, you tell her to calm down, she won't do you for a month and a half. I mean, it is just, the calm word doesn't fly. Did you see him just suffering in the dugout, wanting to absolutely throw bats and helmets at that home plate ump? He wanted to beat his ass, and the anger was coming out of his lips. Did you see him? His mouth was open. He was like a dog. That was the best part of the game, watching him try to control himself.
That was really the only energy that the Yankees gave you all night, Scotty, was Rizzo in the dugout after getting into it with the umpire. Here's the Yankees situation. They've lost 10 of their last 12. Once upon a time, Scotty, the Yankees were 61-23, and people were talking about them as having, like, the best record ever in Major League Baseball. They're going to break all these records. Since then, they are now 72-44. They've lost 21 of 32, and they are now 2.5 games back of Houston for the best record in the American League. So things have changed quickly over just about a 30-game span for the Bombers. This is who they are. Here's Aaron Boone on the lack of offense, Scotty.
Aaron, what do you feel like needs to change to rediscover that spark that you guys had in the first half of the season?
We just got to play better. I mean,
yeah, it's that easy.
The underlying confidence is there. The pieces are there. Obviously, we're missing a few key pieces, as I say, but we're very much have everyone in there right now capable of turning around. We're getting shut down right now. That needs to change. We got to score, so we got to I can sit here and talk to you about it. We need to go do it. We need to go, be prepared, walk out there with some swagger and with some confidence and get it done.
Yeah, I think, they have 8 games left on this, I think the longest homestand of the season, and they started it off with a bang last night getting shut out. They have looked terrible lately, and here's the deal. I think this is the reality of who they are. Like I said, this is exactly who they are. They are not the team that raced off to this incredible start and, playing 80% ball, winning every night, winning every series, winning every game, home and away. They were, crowning them World Series champs. ESPN did things every day of comparing teams that have had this kind of start and who wins the World Series. It's automatic, done deal. We have told you on Coast to Coast for months, forget about lately, for months we have told you, they cannot beat the Astros or the Mariners, and in a series, forget it. I mean, Houston will kill them. They own them. They win every time they play. They would have swept all 4 in the Bronx if it wasn't for Judge hitting bookend, game 1, game 4, walk-off home runs. They would have lost all 4 games. Then they would have lost the doubleheader down in Houston. Then they left, went back, played 1 more, lost that game, lost 2 of 3 to the Mariners in the Bronx, lost 2 of 3 to them out in Seattle. They can't beat anybody. They are barely better than the Orioles, the Rays, and the Jays. They're 1 floor above them. They're on the 14th floor, and the rest of them are on the 12th floor because there's no 13th floor in Vegas.
I'm almost done with them, but I had to give you a chance to go after Aaron Hack today because last night might have been his worst game as a Yankee. Not only did he leave a small village on the base paths, including grounding into a 1-2-3 double play to destroy a rally, the only rally the Yankees had last night, he also misplayed a ball in center field that led to that first run for Tampa. Here's Hicks afterwards, Scotty. Very embarrassed.
Extremely frustrating. Second inning, got on first and second. End up striking out, not getting the job done. Then come back up, bases loaded. Trying to stay short and try to hit the ball up the middle. End up cueing it right back to the pitcher for a double play. Just overall, extremely embarrassing, actually.
You suck, dude.
You're a hack. Even if I'm not hitting, I want my defense to be on point. And, I messed up out there as well.
So he had about 2 weeks where he actually started pounding the ball from the left side. The guy hasn't had a hit on the right side of the plate since before Christ. And now he's back to not hitting at all. The guy hits 100. Now that Ernest and Julio Gallo has been dealt to the Dodgers, embarrassingly enough, he was the worst player I've ever seen in my life. Now Aaron Hack is back to being the worst player on the Yankees, hitting 100. He sucks monkey onions, and they got to get rid of his $70 million cheap-ass suit as fast as they can after this season. He has been an utter disaster. He's like an ex-wife is what he is.
So the Rays pick up a win in the Bronx against the Yankees. The other teams bunched in the American League wildcard race. The Orioles get a win up at Rogers, Scotty. 7-3, Ryan Mountcastle at it again on Masson for the Birds.
But he has absolutely destroyed Toronto.
Ooh,
That's a high fly ball into left field.
Apparently so.
Gurriel is just stock still. That is absolutely walloped into the second deck by Ryan, who continues to be Ryan Mountcastle, the destroyer of Canadian Worlds. His 16th of the season, his third against Kikuchi, and it is a hearty and happy return to the lineup for Ryan Mountcastle.
Honestly.
Daddy, people have sex in those hotel rooms in center field in those upper windows? Yes, they do, dear. Would you like a Budweiser? Cold Budweiser. All right, two. Give me 2.
Your boy Mountcastle, the destroyer of Canadian worlds, right there last night. 3 games in the loss column separate the top 6 teams in the AL wildcard right now, Scotty. Very close in mid-August.
Your heart heart's racing. The clock's running out. It all comes down to this. We're talking pregame. Pregame, pregame. Get locked in with Game Time Decisions. Your hosts, Gabe Morency and Cam Stewart, will get you ready for game time. Everything you need to know before a game goes off the board, with the bet slips to back it up. Make your best bet with live odds updates, late breaking news, up-to-the-minute injury reports, and real-time analytics from inside the sportsbooks. All the odds, all the action, from sports wagering insiders and industry pros like Donnie Rightside, Cam Lou, Cousin Sal, the Pro Football Doc, Dr. David Chow, and more. Get the winning edge every weekday afternoon from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern, 3 to 4 Pacific. It's Game Time Decisions. Only on Sports Grid.
You might be the next daily fantasy millionaire. No matter what you watch or where you play, learn from the world's best DFS players. Lineup building tools, expert projections, and advanced stats change the way you play the game. Dominate the competition. DailyRoto.com, the player's choice.
Pro Football Doc has found its new home right here with Sports Injury Central. And with that comes our expansion into other sports. Sports Injury Central will give you nonstop exclusive injury analysis from experienced team doctors from all 3 major sports. Doctors with resumes that include teams like the Chicago Bulls, the Texas Rangers, and the LA Chargers. So gain a fantasy, DFS, and betting edge right now for free at SICScore.com.
Diamond Bets.
Fernando Tatis Jr. getting popped for a PED suspension for 80 games. Now, I know performance-enhancing drugs are something that, even here at the network, they encourage us, especially myself. They say, please, can you enhance your performance just a little bit more, Joe? This year, it's not going to happen next year for a good chunk of the season. And guess what? This is more important now that you added Juan Soto. So obviously this news rocked Major League Baseball.
Only on Sports Grid. Ferrall, coast to coast.
If we're going to treat everyone the same in this world, then he deserves to be treated the same way. A-Rod, McGuire, Sosa. I believe all of his numbers are phony. He's a fake. He is a cheater. He is a user. He is a fraud. He is a steroid guy. All those numbers, those jacked home run totals. He hit a home run every day.
The Sports Grid Network. The brighter the lights, the bigger the stakes. Hunt or be hunted. Know your prey. This is a whole new jungle. This is The Lion's Share. Brought to you by BetMGM.
Oh, Carver High, I feel so exclusive now with BetMGM. I'm just on cloud 9 over here. And now we have the lion's share without any interference. Everyone can stay out of our way now. We're a freight train of winners.
That is very true. But we start with the lion's share, as we always do, in hour number 1 here, Scotty, brought to you by BetMGM. The strikeouts, the taters, the game props. Good night for the strikeouts last night, Scotty. Of course, Strider went over. We both liked Cole to stay under. That was very easy. Alcantara did go over for you. Castillo went over as our bonus ball. He got to 8 again last night against the Angels. So very good night with the K's. Tonight, we, of course, want to sprinkle some taters in along the way for those big prices, that's for sure. We'll start with the strikeouts, and we'll go in the Bronx. Even though the Yankees have been losing, Scotty, they've gotten a couple really good efforts from nasty Nestor Cortez during this losing streak. They just haven't been able to win for him at the end of the day. 5.5 for Nestor. This was 6.5 this morning when I first looked at it, Scotty. Now at 5, it's minus 165 to the over, plus 120 to the under. He had 10 last time out against the Mariners, but he was under in 5 of 6 starts before that. I liked the under at 6.5 this morning, Scotty. I'm going to stay there with the 5.5 tonight against the Rays. I'm staying under with Nestor.
I don't think he's pitched badly at all during their funk. He's gone out and done his job. I think he can get 6 strikeouts tonight. The fact that it dropped down, I think, scares off people. I'm going to go over.
Yeah, 2 great performances on the road. He pitched well in St. Louis that game that they blew, pitched well in Seattle in a game where they just couldn't get it done. Next, the top 2 names on the American League Cy Young betting board, Scotty, face each other tonight in Chicago. White Sox and the Astros. Let's start with the guy who's second in the odds right now. That is Dylan Cease of the Sox. 7.5 is the number for him tonight against the Astros. Plus 105 to the over, minus 150 to the under. Cease is under this number, Scotty, in 3 of his last 4 outings, despite some wins.
Look, they're playing really good all of a sudden, and we've been abusing them for weeks because they can't win 2 in a row. And then they took that series over the weekend, getting a sweep, and then they beat the Astros last night, which blew my mind because I was hot with all my picks on FerrallOnTheBench.com and on C2C. But that game burned me. Look, someone has to break here, and I don't think it's going to be Verlander. I'm going to say Cease stays under, and I know you're going to give me Verlander next. I think Cease will pitch well, but I believe in that Houston lineup with their bats more than I do Chicago with their inconsistencies and putrid play from here to there. Months on end, they've been terrible. Now all of a sudden, for 5 days, they're hot. I still think Verlander's going to put them in their place, but I'm not giving Cease that many strikeouts. Under.
Yeah, we will talk about that later. A big 8th inning comeback from the White Sox last night. They were down 2-0 and were able to get themselves a victory. Verlander, Scotty, on the other side of this matchup, his number is 6.5 tonight. He is the betting leader for the AL Cy Young right now. He's over 6.5 in 4 of his last 6 starts. White Sox do strike out a lot.
Well, it was the first time, Mike, that I've seen Verlander, frankly, get beat in 2 months. His last outing. I almost keeled over watching him lose. I couldn't even believe it, and I felt horrible for Kate. Kate Upton is all that matters here in this equation. So I say he gets back on the horse, and he wins tonight, and he goes over in strikeouts because his stuff, to me, is, I think, number 2 to DeGrom's number 1. DeGrom's filth is unequaled, and I think Verlander's stuff is just as nasty. 99-100. Sliders at 95. I mean, it's just almost unhittable. I think he'll get the strikeouts. I'm going over.
There you go. I'm going over for Verlander as well tonight, and I'm going to stay under with Cease. I'm with you on both of those. We'll go to Seattle and Anaheim next. Robbie Ray on the hill. 7.5 for Robbie tonight. Minus 135 to the over, minus 105 to the under. Here's all I needed. I didn't even need the recent history, Scotty. He's faced the Angels twice this year. He has 10 strikeouts in both starts, including 2 weeks ago when he faced him up in Seattle. I'm going over. He does it again.
Yeah, I don't care if they play this game in Puerto Rico. I mean, the bottom line is, it doesn't matter Seattle or Anaheim. Robbie Ray's stuff has been beautiful all season long. He's gotten stronger. He's led the majors in innings, the last 2-3 years. The guy's an inning eater. He's going to go out and do his job. He's going to go out and get into the 7th inning tonight, and he's going to strike out and go over. He's going to get another 9 or 10 tonight. And here's another reason why. Because the Angels are hairdryer city.
They're awful. They really are. Hey, under 84.5, baby. We're going to cash that ticket. Finally, bonus ball tonight for the strikeouts because we did 2 in 1 game. This guy's been real good to us, Scotty, and I'm not going away from him. Merrill Lynch Kelly out there on the Diamondbacks.
Merrill Lynch.
4.5 again tonight. They're giving you minus 135 to the over, minus 105 to the under. We've been on him a lot. You want to know how much a lot? He's over 4.5 in 5 straight starts and 6 of his last 7. I'm going to keep riding the train tonight with Merrill Kelly tonight, Scotty, and over.
Yeah, listen, the Giants got hot because they played the Pirates. Let's calm down that the San Francisco Giants matter. They don't. This has not been their year. And our boy Merrill Lynch can get it done again. He's made me all kinds of money betting on him to win games on the money line and on the strikeouts here on the lion's share. He's come through for us. I'm with you. I'm riding it over. I don't think 4.5's that big of a deal for him. He'll have at least 5 or 6 at the bare minimum against this team. I won't deny the Giants are all of a sudden playing good baseball. Too little, too late, Mike. The season's over.
I agree with you there. Let's get to the taters. I want a few of these tonight, Scotty. We're going to go back to Cincinnati where the Phillies are tonight. Once again, I just got to believe eventually they're going to beat up on one of these hacks that the Reds send to the mound. So I'm going to put Hoskins up here at plus 260. But if you want to go with any of the other guys too, Scotty, Castellanos has a good number again tonight. You want to go with Bohm? You want to go with anybody else? I don't care. I'll stick with Reese. The Phillies are eventually going to hammer these guys.
Yeah, and it's crazy because last night they beat them 4-3 and they didn't really do any damage.
Nope.
I hope you're right. I hope you hit that bet. I have my druthers. I'm going to say no.
Okay, next we will go to the Cubbies taking on Patrick Corbin tonight of the Nationals, who, as you know, Scotty, an absolute gas can this year, Patrick Corbin. He is awful. But who's been the hottest guy home run-wise for the Cubbies? Ian Happ had 2 last night. He's got 3 in his last 3 games and a pretty good price, plus 425. Happ to take Corbin deep tonight, Scotty. Let's go. Stay hot.
Yeah, listen, because I'm happy. Because I'm happy. I'm going to go with happy. Let's do it. Happy hour, son. It's happy hour somewhere. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, son. Give me Ian Happ. I don't trust guys named Ian, though.
Next, we will go to Toronto, the Blue Jays and the Orioles again tonight. We got a lot of runs last night, thinking we might get some again tonight. Springer just came off the IL yesterday, Scotty, so he's back in the Blue Jay lineup. Had 2 hits last night, looked pretty good. Tonight, I think he goes yard. Plus 325 for Springer tonight for the Jays.
So last night was a warm-up, and tonight he brings out the big stick. All right, I'll go with it. They got to win this game tonight at Rogers. They can't keep getting pushed around. I'll buy that with you.
And finally, I am going to the Mets tonight down in Atlanta. And why? Because Francisco Lindor, he wears out Charlie Morton, Scotty. Tremendous numbers against him. He hit a homer off him in Atlanta last month when they were here. I think he hits another one off him tonight, and a good price, plus 400 for Lindor tonight. I'll even take a few Brave guys, Scotty, on the other side as well. Maybe a little Austin Riley tonight, because they were hitting the ball pretty good last night too. But I'll officially go Lindor at plus 400.
So you're going to go Riley, a little Olsen, a little Acuna, a little Dabble Do Ya. I'm with you on Lindor as well, because the fisherman just doesn't get it done anymore. His days are numbered in Atlanta. They brought him back at his age, and it hasn't worked out. He won't be there next year, if you ask me. I don't care what anybody says down there to get all worked up when I say things like this. Have a sandwich with mayonnaise on it. Give me Lindor. Not only that, give me the Mets to win tonight. And I gave you Strider last night and the over, so you know what you can do. Grab a cold beer, sit down, light one up, smoke, relax. Everything's going to be fine. We're going to make you all kinds of money on the grid.
And finally, the game props. Let's fly here. The Red Sox and the Pirates start a series in Pittsburgh at PNC, Scotty. How about some runs? How about both teams to score 4 or more? The Pirates do score runs at home, Scotty. They do. Plus 190, Red Sox and Pirates, both to score 4 or more.
Yeah, I'm not feeling the Bucks. I mean, honestly, you know what? The pirate ship has sunk. I mean, they had a trip like the Yankees, and they look like quitters to me, like they're packing the glad bags already. I'm not buying the Pirates doing anything. In fact, I'm betting on the Red Sox. I don't think the Pirates score 4 runs.
Next, we will go to the Mets and the Braves. How about over in the first 5 innings? Minus 110. We're talking runs here with Morton and Taijuan Walker pitching. Over 5 in the first 5 innings.
Yeah, I like that. I'll go with that bet. I think that's strong. That's going to be a good game tonight. And I think there's going to be runs, too, because both these guys get, lit up a little bit.
And the under, Rockies and the Cardinals. Cardinals win under 7.5, plus 200 for Quintana tonight against Freeland. Under in the Cardinals.
If you say so, I'm with you, Carver High. I'm with you, baby.
There you go. Let's go.
The Lion's Share, presented by BetMGM. Sports Grid, your 24/7 sports wagering network.
People are going to the betting window
Betting
and
above
betting
the
them now
rim.
before the trade takes place.
How dare
Diamond
they
bets.
do what's fiscally responsible? See how it plays out. Buffalo's going all in right
Football
now. They need
full
to put
circle.
all their chips in the middle of the table. It's do or die for them.
And Godwin being out, they've had a little bit of a shakeup.
In-game live all access.
You could take the points, you could take the money line, and
we had to go to San Jose too. Maybe a small play on San Jose. I'm gonna go both underdogs here. I don't want to hear it anymore.
Wow. In-game
Phillies
live.
here,
Prime
over minus
time.
128. You do have to lay up a little bit of wood here, Donnie, but I think against Patrick Corbin.
But boy, you want to give me 8.5 points with a desperate team facing
Get
elimination.
the winning edge. Only on Sports Grid, your 24/7 sports wagering network.
You might be the next daily fantasy millionaire. No matter what you watch or where you play, learn from the world's best DFS players. Lineup building tools, expert projections, and advanced stats change the way you play the game. Dominate the competition. DailyRoto.com, the player's choice.
Diamond bets.
Dodgers heading into the weekend, minus 160. This morning, when you wake up bright and early and get the crust out of your eye, it's plus 155. The Mets were plus 220 after Jacob deGrom's 1-0 win yesterday, plus 200. So the Mets are getting ever closer here, my friend, to this National League number. It's a three-team race for the National League crown. It's the Dodgers, it's the Mets, it's the Braves. What's fascinating to me is that the Brewers are still plus 1,400 and the Cardinals are plus 15.
Only on Sports Grid. Ferrall, coast to coast.
10 years ago, you couldn't even touch California. Now, Prop 26 is one that allows Indian gaming on Indian lands and 4 casinos. Prop 27, everywhere. And needless to say, FanDuel, DraftKings, all the big boys are supporting Prop 27, including Major League Baseball. Prediction is it passes in a landslide, and they creatively say...
The Sports Grid Network.
All right, Ferrall back on Coast to Coast. It's a pleasure to welcome in the gigantic marlin that Sports Grid caught today, deep sea fishing out off of the coast of New York. Unbelievable in the deep waters. They landed Warren Sharp, the legendary analytic genius, the new lead NFL analyst for Sports Grid. Warren, welcome. Congratulations. It's great to have you on Sports Grid, my man.
I couldn't be happier. Thanks for welcoming me, Scott. A great couple of years. We're going to do a lot of new things here, and I'm just really happy to talk to you about the NFL, and we're going to do it, I'm sure.
Well, let's start with this. There's a lot of stuff I was checking out of yours, and I was intrigued by a lot of it and how you see things. Starting with, I've talked a lot on this show recently as we got into NFL camps about some teams that I liked that no one's talking about. And one of them was the Vikings, and you were on the Vikings. You were on the Niners. And why don't we start there, your feelings about those teams and why you're interested in them from not only a success angle, but a betting angle.
Yeah, well, let's start with the Minnesota Vikings. This was a team that had a dinosaur previously in Mike Zimmer. Mike Zimmer, a defensive-oriented coach, he thought like the best way to help his defense was to keep them, that would make him look good because he's the defensive brain on that side of the ball, even though he's the head coach. And for that reason, he was trying to have the offense control the time of possession far too often, try to get into manageable third downs, don't turn the ball over, try not to do anything too crazy on early day. And what that forced them to do is to come from behind a lot in the second half of games because inevitably they were trailing early. And we know that the way to win games in NFL is to be efficient on early downs and to jump out to leads. Force your opponent to play catch up. In fact, that will make your own defense look significantly better when they are playing with a lead in the second half, because then they can pin their ears back. They know that the opposing offense is going to be more predictable. That team is going to have to throw the football at a much higher rate. And so it's play defense against an offense that you know what they're going to be doing. And so Mike Zimmer didn't quite understand that, but I think that their new staff obviously is far more oriented towards throwing the football. And Justin Jefferson came out and said it was so refreshing to have a new offense, an offense that is actually up with the times like their current offense is. I think this team is going to utilize Kirk Cousins and throw the football more obviously with COVID right now, but by the time he's back, the season will see a time to get everybody back on the same page, finish off the preseason and get into the regular season. And I absolutely think that this team is going to have more success. This team was in so many close games last year, Scott, and luck just did not go their way. I think if they play more aggressively early, throw the football at a higher rate, they're going to jump out the bigger leads. They're going to be able to have more of these leads because they still have a decent run game. You just don't want to start the game running on every first down like they had been doing. And I think this team is going to exceed their win total of 8.5. And that was one of my favorite looks of the whole offseason. I also like them to make the playoffs because I like the Packers, but I think the Packers are a slight step back. I don't know that the Vikings are ready to overtake them and win the North, but I think that they definitely have the ability to make the playoffs in a weaker NFC conference. And thus, those are two bets that I really like off the bat.
So, I feel the same way. And I think that it wasn't the worst bet in the world to take a piece on them to take the North at the price that it was being offered, because everybody just locks in on Aaron Rodgers that it's automatic. They're going to win the division. They lose Adams. They're just going to keep winning. They're going to use this kid, Christian Watson, out of North Dakota State. That kid's no Devontae Adams. I'm not buying that. And they just gift wrap him the title, going to be in the NFC Championship. I'm sick and tired of hearing that. Now, what are your thoughts on, and I think your stuff about third down is basically your enemy, that you don't want to be in third down. You want to get things done in first and second down. I couldn't be more into that than anybody, because I think it's brilliant. Do you think that Lance, with his speed and his arm and getting out of the pocket, that they're going to take advantage of that more than they did with Garoppolo and Samuel, et cetera, and their receivers and everyone they got, Kelsey, all these guys in the NFL that you see that have moved around, Tyreek Hill, they're saying the Chiefs are going to be better without him. I don't buy that. Do you think Lance will make the Niners better with his speed and arm?
I think there's positives. His speed and his arm is definitely going to help make them better. There's some negatives with what's going to be a lack of decisiveness, where to go with the football on some of those key third downs. He's going to be able to make more out of it with his feet, obviously, than Jimmy G was. And his downfield throwing ability, here's a great stat for you, Scott. A little bit different than early down efficiency. This one just deals with explosiveness. If you look at the NFL over the last several seasons, if you have a drive that has 0 plays of 15 or more yards, so no explosive plays, you have a 5% chance of scoring points on that drive. But if you have just one play on a drive that gains at least 15 yards, you go and score on 50% of your drive. So it's so impactful, generating some explosive plays. And Kyle Shanahan is a master and a genius at dialing up these explosive plays and utilizing yards after the catch. Jimmy G, nobody will even remember this fact, but Jimmy G led the NFL in yards per attempt over the last several years. It's like Jimmy G doesn't throw the ball down the field. No, because they throw the ball short, and Shanahan's offense designs a lot of yards after the catch. So they were able to get explosives in a little bit of a different way. But with Trey Lance, they're now going to be able to get explosives the more traditional way, which is throwing the football deeper down the field. That's going to open up things more in the run game too. And the other thing that Kyle Shanahan was just raving about when they first drafted Trey Lance is the ability to have a mobile quarterback, because it forces the defense to keep an extra defender in there in case he might run the ball. And the defenses never had to do that when Jimmy G was there. And that's going to open up things and more looks down the field deeper for Trey Lance. I think Trey's arm strength is really going to be a factor here. Jimmy G was one of the least accurate quarterbacks throwing the ball 20 plus yards down the field. Trey Lance is going to be an improvement in that area. And for these reasons, I do think that the 49ers, with still a good defense and a lot of question marks in the NFC West, with the Seattle Seahawks losing Russell Wilson and taking a step back at the quarterback position, and the team that I'm most down on relative to market of any in the league, which is the Arizona Cardinals, being in that same division, I think the 49ers have a great opportunity. I just have not yet entered the betting market on the Niners, Scott, because I've been waiting for the optimal time. I've been hoping to see more and more public money come and bet against the 49ers. Some pro money came into the marketplace very early on in the offseason, betting their under. I'm hoping that would continue a little bit so I can get slightly better prices on the Niners, but they are a team that I am really interested in buying on late.
So let's look at this. Warren Sharp with us, our new lead NFL analyst on Sports Grid on Coast to Coast today. He'll be a regular on the network and on this show, so get used to it, and it's going to be fantastic for bettors. So when I was talking about Kelsey before, I'm talking about Mahomes to Kelsey, and then I want to know what you think of that team without Hill and what Tua will do with him in Miami. So Kansas City and Miami.
Yeah, everybody is down on Kansas City. It sounds like you are slightly as well. And I just am hesitant to bet against Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. I think this team, they showed it in the preseason game. They used more 21 personnel, which is a fullback on the field, than any other team in the league did in the first week of preseason. I think this team's got some tricks up their sleeve. I'm not saying they're better. It's no addition by subtraction, losing Tyreek Hill, but it's now going to force Andy Reid to think more creatively entering this season. Last year, these defenses started playing that too high shell during the course of the season, and they had to adjust on the fly. And by the end of the season, they had it pretty well figured out. I mean, this team should have probably made the Super Bowl. They lost in the AFC Championship game after having a massive lead. If they score on that last drive right before the half against the Cincinnati Bengals, they are in the Super Bowl and have a great shot, in my opinion, of beating the Rams. Of course, they don't have Tyreek Hill there, but I still think that they're a very sound football team. They're going to need some young players on the defensive side of the ball to step up. I don't know if there's value betting them, but I certainly love the fact that a lot of people tend to be selling them, and that just makes me a little bit more reluctant to do so. Now in Miami, this is a team that I am really strong on, and we don't have enough time in this show, Scott, to talk as much as I love the Dolphins and what I think Tua is going to do this year. But I will just say this. Tua has played his first 2 seasons in the NFL, unlike any quarterback has had to play so far in my memory in the NFL. He starts off with a catastrophic hip injury that he's trying to rehab during a COVID offseason. The offense starts off playing Ryan Fitzpatrick. The offensive coordinator is pulled back out of retirement. He's a grandfather. He has been coaching for several years. He designed the offense for Ryan Fitzpatrick. They didn't do anything to help tailor it to Tua when they inserted Tua late in the year. He comes out after the fact, says, I don't even know why Tua was playing. This offense wasn't really designed to help him at all late down the stretch. Then last season, Tua comes in, he fractures ribs, he misses several weeks, he fractures a bone in his throwing hand, he misses additional time. He's not quite 100% probably most of that season. His wide receiving core has the worst separation of any wide receiving core in the league. Thus, they have the most tight window throws. The offensive line is the worst pass blocking offensive line in the NFL, and the run game is virtually non-existent since he's been there. What other way are you going to help a young quarterback? They did basically nothing to help him. This year, they have fresh-minded offense who, with a system that I really like, a lot more running backs, a better offensive line. I think this team is going to be able to run the ball better. It's going to give him more looks in terms of throwing the ball to open receivers, which is something that he hasn't been able to do because of the lack of separation. They're going to get more yards after the catch. I mentioned Jimmy G leading the league in yards after the catch in San Francisco. That's where Mike McDaniel comes from. So Mike McDaniel is going to design a lot more yards after the catch here. Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, they've got the receivers there to do it. I think this team's got some big upside. That's why I did bet over 8.5 for the Dolphins.
Yeah, me too. Listen, I love the Vikings, and the Dolphins were my two sleepers. I'm not down on the Chiefs. I just think the Raiders, and I know you're all over the Chargers, are certainly going to be dangerous. And the Denver Broncos with Wilson and that defense are allegedly, Adam Kaplan, our NFL insider, basically, he thinks they're going to the Super Bowl, not so many words. So I just think that division's going to be so much tougher. Tell me why you're so high on Herbert and the Chargers. They never get it done.
No, they don't get it done, but there's only two reasons this team doesn't make it to the AFC Championship, in my opinion, Scott. Number one is injuries. This team seems to be snake bit. If that goes their way this year, the only thing that's going to prevent them is coaching. The coaching and the offensive coordinator, Joe Lombardi, he has a strong-armed, one of the most talented quarterbacks in the league in Justin Herbert, who is young and can throw the ball all over the field. And they have one of the shortest target depths of any team in the NFL. And that's exactly what he did when he was coaching Matthew Stafford for a couple of seasons in Detroit. And that's exactly what he was doing with Drew Brees at the tail end of Brees' career. They need to let Justin Herbert throw the football down the field a little bit more frequently, open up this team a little bit more to have more success running the football. But I think the general manager did an absolutely outstanding job of plugging the holes that this team had. They had several identified holes in terms of their weakness coming out of last season. And because Justin Herbert is on a rookie deal, this team was able to go out and acquire key pieces to insert in and help really make this team a lot better. And I just think that they plugged enough of their holes and they're set at quarterback that they are destined to make this next step. It's just going to be, hopefully they stay clear of injuries.
And I love Mike Williams. I love big, tall receivers, and he can light it up, and I like Eckler. I like having you on this network. This is going to be a blast. Hey, Warren, congrats. Thanks so much for coming on today. We'll see you real soon.
If you want to pick like a pro, you need to be in the know. The future of sports gaming is now, and we take you inside the lines, breaking down all the action and what it means for your bet slip. Turn down the game and tune into Sports Grid Radio. Other networks talk sports talk, but we walk the walk, right up to the window. Sports Grid Radio.
Listen free on the Sports Grid Radio app, iHeart or TuneIn, or catch us on SiriusXM Sports Grid Channel 159.
Maurice Allen, 2015-2016 European Long Drive Tour Champion, 2017 World Number 1. Me personally, I keep my game face on me all the time. Especially coming out of the bunker, leaving the range, or even leaving the course. What's your story?
Pro Football Doc has found its new home right here with Sports Injury Central. And with that comes our expansion into other sports. Sports Injury Central will give you nonstop exclusive injury analysis from experienced team doctors from all three major sports. Doctors with resumes that include teams like the Chicago Bulls, the Texas Rangers, and the LA Chargers. So gain a fantasy, DFS, and betting edge right now for free at SICScore.com.
Diamond Bets.
Fernando Tatis Jr. getting popped for a PED suspension for 80 games. Now, I know performance-enhancing drugs are something that, even here at the network, they encourage us, especially myself. They say, please, can you enhance your performance just a little bit more, Joe? This year, it's not going to happen next year for a good chunk of the season. And guess what? This is more important now that you added Juan Soto. So obviously this news rocked Major League Baseball.
Only on Sports Grid.
You might be the next daily fantasy millionaire. No matter what you watch or where you play, learn from the world's best DFS players. Lineup building tools, expert projections, and advanced stats change the way you play the game. Dominate the competition. DailyRoto.com, the player's choice.
Ferrall, coast to coast.
They're not going to start him. So if he comes in, hypothetically, let's say things don't go well and you're at the halfway point, week 8, week 9, you start playing him. I don't believe you can win Rookie of the Year starting halfway through. That kid, Pickens, if they throw him the ball enough, he has looked phenomenally well over any kid I've seen yet.
The Sports Grid Network.
I mean, Carver High, that was like Doc Holliday type stuff with that stash of his. I mean, that was just impressive. I didn't say anything to him yet. I barely know the guy, so I didn't want to get all sensitive and start talking about his stash, but I can do it with you. That was just an incredible look he had going there.
No, that is full Doc Holliday look. Tremendous stuff there from Warren, and it's going to be good having him on Sports.
We might have to call him Doc Holliday.
A lot of good nuggets. So there you go. Before we get to this next highlight from last night, we have to call an audible on the lion's share for the Taters, Scotty, because Hap is not in the lineup for the Cubs tonight. They just put
I
the guy's
I don't trust guys named Ian.
The guy's got 3 homers the last couple of days, and they sit him tonight against the gas can. So instead, we're going to go and we're going to take out the wisdom tooth tonight. Your boy Patrick Wisdom. We'll get him tonight at plus 240 for the lion's share. So a quick fill-in for Hap. We're going to go to Wisdom against Corbin.
All right, I'll ride it with you. What do I have to lose besides everything?
There you go. Last night, here's one way to lose a game. Tied in the 9th between the Mariners and the Angels. Probably should have been a double play, but it wasn't on Root Sports.
Oh, it was ugly.
Ahead in the count, 2-0. Pitch to Julio. Line drive was knocked down. Play at the plate. Now they got Haggerty hung up. Demo coming to third. Runner scores. Runner to third. Safe. Wow. How about that? How about that? 3-2 Mariners.
What a break.
Nobody covered home.
Rengifo had a double play opportunity, and it just did not work.
He got butchered.
Baby.
The soul man.
I mean, they absolutely coiffed. No one covered home. They had him in a rundown at third, and he went straight home and slid in head first. Nobody was standing there at all. There was the beginning of the end for the Angels, as usual, because they stink. They can't even finish easy plays. It was a disaster.